Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you can click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. What's happening, party people? Kicking off the Tinker Day. Got myself in a little bit of a mess. This vehicle here was converted to front wheel drive, and in the process we replaced the entire rear suspension system, fuel tank, brake line, gas lines, exhaust system and all. They have a perfect match rear end front wheel drive system that is on these cars here. However, I chose to use one that is off of a C70 convertible Volvo, which they say is only 1 inch wider. Well, that 1 inch wider has cost me some rubbing. As you can see there, the tire doesn't fit up there when you hit a bump or roll in through a driveway on an angle. It's going to continue to rub this metal here, because this metal, and that's almost 1 inch wide. It seems single thickness, so I should be able to roll it without any problems, but that is why I'm here. I now have to roll the lip of this fender. The way it looks, I will only have to roll these fender arches from here to here. I checked on a couple of YouTube videos, called around. Anyway, it looks like it was cheaper for me to buy a fender roller. Since the owner of this vehicle is on a budget, I'm going to take a stab at rolling these myself. They say you need a heat gun, and it'd be best if you use a fender roller. So I purchased one of those off of Amazon for like 50 bucks. Those things are cheap now. They used to be 200 plus. Nowadays they're down to 50. So I'm going to assemble that thing, and then I'm going to attach it to this vehicle and roll these fenders. Let's get started. In this video, I'm going to be putting together a fender roller to roll the wheel arches on a car where your wheels tuck in. I bought this off of Amazon, came in yesterday, so I'm going to put it together and then I'm going to put it to use. So this video, I'm going to be showing you how to put this together. And the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to put it to use. Let's get started taking all the parts out of this box. You open up a box, this is what you see. Here are probably the instructions on putting it together. So let's take a peek. Here it has some safety instructions and precautions you should take. Here it has a rough diagram of how this thing goes together. So let me pull everything out of the box and put it together so that it's functional. My roller is together and appears to be tight, but you can put an Allen in there, make sure that's tight. Next, I'm going to connect it to this, which has a threaded hole in it. So this is going to go through here like this, and you're going to use this to put through there and start threading it, so that you could tighten it and change the angle as needed. When you put this screw through here, make sure you get it at the proper angle so that the thread comes straight through. That should happen easy, and then this will go through that hole. If it starts feeling super tight, it's likely cross-threaded. Do not cross-thread it, be careful. Mine tried to cross-thread when I hooked it up. Next, you find the piece that has the thread in it, the round piece. You put it in the bottom of this piece that has a hole in it. Washer on both sides. Snug down the Allens so that that piece is in there. Pivots like that. Next, you take this piece that does not have threads in it. You put it in here. Screw and washer on each side. Snug those Allens down. Next, you take this pin that came with it. You put it through that pivot there. You have that there. And you put the Carter pin in the other side so that that doesn't come out. And you have this piece like this. Next, you take your height adjuster, put it in through there. Take your knob, screw it through there, and it'll screw all the way in through that track, and pin your height adjuster in there. Just screw that all the way down. And it'll look like this. Now you put your angle adjuster lever, screw it in here, and put it through there, and the nut will go on the other side of that, a lock nut. Take this, screw it through that pivot there, and then align it, stick it through there, and now you put a nut on it there. This pin here, depending on the angle of your vehicle, will be in this hole or this hole. You find out that when you go to use it. That's why it's got that quick release Carter pin. So I'm going to tighten this down here. I got the handle screwed in there, and you got these 5 spacers here. These spacers are used for mounting this to your wheel and how your lug nuts will fit through these. So you got 5 of those, and they're stored on your handle. So we are good to go, ready to take this wheel off and use this thing. In this video, I'm going to be rolling the fender wheel arches on this Volvo V70. I put a different rear end in it that's a little bit wider. So now my stock tires are rubbing against the fender liner flares. So I'm going to roll those with a tool I just bought from Amazon. Those tools used to be expensive. This tool was like 50 bucks. Got it shipped to me overnight, and I put it together. There's a link in the video below to show you how to put that tool together. Now, full disclosure, I am an experienced mechanic. What I mean by that is I've changed oil more than 10 times. I've changed wheel hubs, transmissions, engines, rebuilt cylinder heads, all that stuff. However, I have never done this before, but I did watch a couple of YouTube videos. So this is coming from a guy that's experienced at mechanicking. However, I've never done this before, so take that how you would. Let's go ahead and get started. First thing I did, I parked the car, put wheel stops in, set the parking brake. The car's in gear because it's a manual. If it's an automatic, put it in park. Jack the vehicle up. Once you get the vehicle up, put a jack stand under the vehicle in the location that you're going to be doing this. So here is the damage on the tires from just, man, I drove about a half a mile and that thing rubbed the tire a couple of times, I guess, when I hit bumps or wheel humps. And that's the damage on the plastic fender well lining. Looked like it burnt plastic. So I gotta cut this away. Then I gotta roll this edge of this fender lining probably from here to here where the arches are in it. So I'm gonna go from here to here, roll that in. I should be good to go. You need a tool to roll that arch in, whatever tool you decide to use. I'm gonna use a tool designed for it. You also need a heat gun so you can try to avoid damaging the paint. I'll give you a full tool list at the end of the video. I'm jacking the car up to put it on jack stands. I jacked it up by the bottom of the suspension so it will tuck this wheel, and you can see how that wheel is hitting that fender well and where it stops at. So you want to roll back at least that far. So let's keep getting it jacked up, put a jack stand under it. I have the front wheels blocked, the car on the jack stand. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the wheel and release the parking brake because this will need to roll when I'm using the tool. I got the wheel off and I got my tool here. I want to make sure that all the hardware on the tool is secure. These Allens are a 6mm and the bolt on the bottom was a 19. Again, you want to make sure this stuff is snug. These are loose enough so that your roller rolls freely, but you want to make sure this stuff is on and snug before you use it each time. You don't want this coming apart in the middle of your use. Next, I'm going to use a blade or some kind of cutting tool to cut back this plastic so that the wheel doesn't touch this plastic while it's rolling, because that'll wear your tire down as well. So I'm gonna cut it from about here, go up. At the high spot I'll be about 1 inch, then I'm gonna come back down and meet it here. So that's how much of it I'm gonna cut off. I use my knife to cut out that much of this plastic lining. Plastic lining is still pretty much secure because of those screws and the way it's shaped, but I do have enough cut out that my wheels should not hit it. Make that as smooth and straight as you want. I'm going to leave mine right there. Next, I'm going to mount the tool to the hub using the tool, the lug nuts, and those spacers. I got all of the screws snugged down. I did align my rotor securing pin in this bottom hole right there. Now I am ready to put this thing in place and heat up my fender well and put this thing in action. Before you apply the heat, make some adjustments to this knob, this pivot, and this here to make it so that that thing barely touches when it comes across there, so that when you're ready to start rolling it, you won't have a bunch of adjustment to make. So right there, it's just going to be a little bit of rolling. I'll probably move the neck out until it touches there to start my first rolling actions, because here it's touching but here it's not. So I'll probably bring it up so that it'll make its first contact about a 1/2 inch from there. So now I'm gonna grab my heat gun and heat up my paint. Probably want to heat that up to like 175 degrees. So I got my little temperature thing here, and right now it's 92 degrees. So I'm gonna heat that up to about 175 degrees, 165 degrees, and then I'm going to start rolling it. That should prevent the paint from cracking. So here I am heating up the arch to prevent cracking the paint. I'm just going to keep going back and forth till I get it up to about 175 degrees. And I might heat it a couple of times while I'm doing the process, because I don't want it to crack the paint. A little over 175 degrees. Let me put this in position and start rolling it. Okay, so I lifted up about here. I rolled this wheel out until it touched right here. I cranked this wheel counterclockwise until it touched, and then I rolled it and started rolling it back and forth until I got it to where it was rolling in a little bit. Then I cranked the wheel counterclockwise a little bit more. That made it rub a little harder. Rolled it some more. All right, now I'm gonna crank it in, check the temperature on it, pitch the roller just a little bit more that way, and roll it some more. Heated that back up, crank this back out till it touches. I'm gonna extend the arm out just a little bit till it touches. Now I'm gonna roll this some more. I'm almost in vertically here, so I'm going to pitch this just a little bit more. I'm going to tighten it up a little bit more here and roll it. Now I'm going to roll this in, pitch this the rest of the way so that I can get this flat. I'm also going to pitch it a little bit this way so I can roll it a little bit more of this part right here. It's not rolled here as much as I want. Angle this a little bit this way and finish that up right there. Finish that up right there. All right, this side should be done. I took the tool off. Now I'm looking at my roll a little bit better. You can feel it really all the way back up in there. So that's what the roll looks like going across and under there. And the splash guard cut back, that's what that looks like. Let's go ahead and put the wheel up and see if it touches when I jack it up. Looks like I'm gonna be in good shape. That wheel is way up in there. And I got a good, almost an inch clearance. Probably rolling it also pushed it out a little. I doubt that wheel will rub anything now. So let me go ahead and do the other side, but it looks like I might have flared the fender a little bit while rolling that lip in. I guess we could see this side compared to the other side. If it did, not much. But rolling that lip, man, helped a lot. A lot more of that lip rolled than I expected. So we should be good to go. I decided to measure it this side before and after, and it's like 10 3/8 to the lip. 11 1/4 to the outer edge. So let's go ahead and roll it and see what we end up with. There it is, folks. Rolled and cut. The nice thing about these Volvo fender linings is they rub against the metal up there pretty high. Don't cut as high as I did on this one. Just cut about an inch off of it and it'll be fine. But that's where I'm at with the lip, just about touching. Let me go ahead and give it a measure. Well, we rolled the lip and flared the fender because now the inner is at 11 and the outer is about 11 1/2, and that was 11 1/4. So we pushed this fender out about 1/4 of an inch. No big deal. Plenty of clearance. We're good to go. Let me get this wheel on, get this car back down, and replace this door. Here are the tools for the task at hand: a jack stand, tools you need to remove the wheel and torque them back on, tools you need to make sure all of your parts are secure on your fender roller, which was a 6mm hex for me and a 19mm for that bolt down there. I used a heat gun, I used a temperature infrared tool, I used a blade to cut the wheel liner off, and I used some gloves. I used a tape measure to measure my clearances, see how much I gained, and that's it. Hope this video helped. Have a great day. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.